football fans from around the world. You are tuned into the Cuda Cast, the official podcast of Dubai Barracudas. I'm your host, Coach Jerry, and with me as always, the lovely Miss Gracie.
Hi everyone, it's great to be back.
And we're back after a long summer.
Very long.
Hot Dubai summer. But now we're back into the swing of things. We're getting ready to start the football season up again. But we've still been busy with the Falcons football.
It's been exciting.
Yeah. We started way back, in August, September?
They started practicing in August in the extreme heat. But,
yeah, we had a couple practices outdoors, right? And it was rough. Felt like I was going to pass out. And I wasn't even running. So yeah, we practiced outdoors a bit. Tried to get as many practices as we could at the indoor dome there by Sports City. But I mean, it's just 4-hour practices. I mean, we're really getting it done. We had a U15 team and a U17/U19 team that we put together. So we practiced, like you said, starting in August. It was the end of August, right?
Yeah, it was for sure mid-August. I if my memory serves me correct.
Yeah, it was somewhere in there. Anyways, so we practiced all through September, and then we welcomed the Dusseldorf Panther back to Dubai.
Back again.
For those of you that remember, we played them last year here in Dubai, and then they invited us out to Dusseldorf, which we couldn't make. It was too short of a notice, but we planned a little bit better this year. So they came in, and they brought their U17 team, and along with the Dusseldorf Panther, we also had Team Russia join us this year. So it was a I don't know if what were we calling it? Tricontinental?
The official name was Arabian Gridiron Invitational.
That's what it was.
Yes, and it consisted of Team Russia, UAE Falcons, and Dusseldorf Panther.
All U17. So we played our matches at the Rugby Sevens.
Correct.
Right. So it was a tournament style play where we played the Germans, then we played the Russians, then the Russians played the Germans. It was pretty exciting. Lots of football. Unfortunately, we didn't do as well as we had wanted to. We have a young team at the U17 level. So we were definitely a bit undersized. But our boys went out there, and I mean, they were holding it down. I do believe we scored the most points against the Dusseldorf Panther that they had scored against them all year.
Yeah, and they had a lot of encouraging words to say about our team. You know, how they've noticed that even in the span of 1 year, we've grown as a team, and they were able to take notice of that. And like you said, we were able to put up some points.
We had the lead there for a while. Correct. I don't think they'd ever gone into halftime down. The Dusseldorf Panther, yeah. I don't think that.
Interesting.
You know, they've been in Germany winning championships, and they had never been down at the half. So it was new to them. Kudos to them. They came out. They made some adjustments. And again, their size kind of wore us down a little bit. And it was more of the same with Team Russia. You know, they came out. They were big. Again, we were a little undersized, but we went out there. We fought, came up short, and then Dusseldorf Panther turned around and beat Team Russia.
Yes, that was a very exciting game. It was a nail-biter, actually. Came down to fourth quarter, I believe, right? Just
yep.
Very low-scoring game. But the Dusseldorf Panther came out and won 7-6.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
It was nuts. So then that was in middle of October. And then at the end of October, our U17 team traveled to Dusseldorf to play Dusseldorf Panther there. So 2 weeks later, they turn around.
No time
off. We kept practicing. Our guys went out there, went to Dusseldorf. They stayed with their host families, which is, what we had done with when the Panther visited us, all their players stayed with host families here in the Dubai area. So they did the same for us when we traveled over there. Unfortunately, the lovely Miss Gracie and myself couldn't make that trip due to work commitments. But it sounded like a good time.
Yeah,
I wish Oktoberfest. We really missed it. We missed it. It sounded like a real good time. Actually, that was the middle of October.
That
right?
was the middle. They were here.
The beginning of October.
They
came the beginning of October. Then our U17s traveled the middle of October.
Yes.
Came back. And then U15s and U17s. Actually, it was U19s.
Right, but we didn't have anyone.
Right. Our U19 Falcons team was basically the U17 teams with like one 18-year-old. So it was basically our U17 team. So we took our U17 team and our U15 team to Singapore.
At the end of October.
At the end of
Halloween.
October for Halloween, right? So we were out there for Halloween. Great hosts. We ran into an ex EAFL stallion who now lives in Singapore. Keller Neville. Some of you guys may remember Coach Keller Neville and his son Kieran. His son Kieran plays for the Singapore Falcons. They're also the Falcons. He's at U15, so it was really, really cool to catch up with some ex teammates, from our own league here in the UAE. So the U15s go out there, and we played the Singapore U15s, and we did really, really well. We had a nice sized traveling team, and at the U15 level, I mean they got out there and it was like clockwork. They got out there. Our offense was started off a little bit slow. It was our first game, but then once it started clicking, then we were able to put up some points, and we came away with a win at the U15 level. Then we followed that game up by playing the Singapore U19s, and much like the Russians, much like Germany, we were a bit undersized.
Right.
We're, like I said, we're a young team, so. When I say U19, like I said, we had like one 18-year-old. Everyone else was 15, 16-year-olds. Right. So we were there was a bit of a size disadvantage, but not a heart disadvantage. Our boys went out there, they fought hard. It was raining. There was a couple stoppages. For those of you that have been to Singapore, you guys know it like rains all the time, and then the lightning alarms go off, and everyone runs off the field. Then the lightning stops and the rain stops, and we all come back. Then 2 quarters later, it goes off again. Lightning alarms go off. We run off the field. So we came up short at the U19 level. The trip was a great success, though. It was good to get out there and travel. Coach Jerry and the lovely Miss Gracie were able to make that trip.
Yeah, that one we were able to go.
So that worked out.
I could see that trip being an annual tournament. Hopefully more teams from the Singapore area will join us. I know there's Korea and even Japan,
right.
That have shown interest. So perhaps in the future we'll have more teams represented at the
over in
Singapore area.
Now the Singapore Falcons, again, great hosts. They had host families, so all our boys stayed with players from the Singapore teams, whether at the U15 or the U19 level. And they all came away with great experience. Nothing but good things to say about everyone in Singapore, all the families they stayed with. Those guys over there, their coaches, the guys they had helping us out, Jason and some of those other guys. I mean, they were just great group of guys. They really worked with us and, getting us transportation to and from the field, getting us practice fields at the naval base.
Yeah, great facilities too.
Yeah, the Terror Club.
Yeah.
So it really worked out, and, it was enjoyable. So now we're down to starting the season.
Let's backtrack a little bit, and you might be wondering, why are there so much Falcons talk during a Dubai Barracudas podcast? Well,
that's right.
We have a great group of kids that from our Barracudas teams that are represented in the Falcons teams. And the Falcons teams is an elite team, an all-star team, where we pick the best players from around the league, and they make up our national team. And they are a traveling team. And like Mr. Coach Jerry said, Mr. Coach, like Coach Jerry said, we've taken our teams to Dusseldorf, to Singapore. In the past, we've taken them to China and also Pop Warner in Orlando, Florida. And some of our returning players that are on the Falcons teams that are also Barracudas. And I'm just going to name a few names. Because these are a great example of Barracuda.
And our apologies if we've left anyone out. We tried to compile this list as best we could.
Yes. And I'm getting older. My memory's not as good. So let's just go down the list real quick. Joaquin Campos, Kian Sarabi, Tomas Maurino, David Moshi, Max Landeros, Mason Landeros, Isaiah Herrera, Jason Cobb, Vladislav Romanov, Ezra King, Daniel Perlin, Thomas Lagarde, Elias Benasur, and Omar Bazian.
Or as they were saying in Singapore, Elia Benakur.
No, they were saying, just something completely different.
Completely
yes. And these are our great group of Barracudas that are also part of the Falcons teams. And we have more. But they are U13 right now. We just mentioned U15, U17
/19
and /19 U19. Our U13 teams or our U13 Barracuda Falcons will be traveling.
Our U13 EAFL Falcons, will be traveling to the Pop Warner
next month in a couple of weeks.
So we have some Barracudas on that team as well. And once we come back from that trip and do our podcast, we'll
give them a little shout out.
Yeah, we'll send a shout out to all those players. But our Barracudas, the Barracudas that were on the Falcons teams, they represented the Barracudas really, really well. If you notice on that list, at the U15 level, you had Isaiah Herrera and Jason Cobb, who are actually bantam players. However, Isaiah, our son, Isaiah, he's been playing. He played at the JV level the past couple years, and it wasn't until this year that he was, now he's with his own age group in the bantam. So he's been playing up for a few years now. So he went out there and he did his thing. And, Jason Cobb, for those of you that have seen him play, he's just a phenomenal player. And so we brought him along, extended him an invite. And he went out there, and it was just, he played lights out. Little Jason was just running circles around the defense.
Did I see him at defensive end?
he even played defensive end a little bit. He did, and he got a couple sacks at defensive end. So no, he went out there and did his thing. Elias, he's another guy that kind of stands out at the U15. I swear his name was called on every play. Keon always does his thing. Joaquin was playing phenomenal. Some of these boys played U15 and U19 level. Daniel Perlin, was at QB, and again, he's a student of the game. He goes out there and he performs night in and night out. So
we can't forget Tomas.
Oh, Tomas, yeah, he's what can I say? He's a beast. He's been playing for 1 year. He joined the Barracudas last year,
right?
And right off the bat, his athleticism showed, and his love for the game. And he's just a beast. Great hands. Tom Lagarde, he's a big body.
Strong player.
He's strong. He's strong. Just bull rushing on the line. Like I said, all these guys, they just played really, really well.
And the Landeros brothers never disappoint.
Baby, don't hurt me. So yeah, Vladislav. He goes out there. He does his thing. Vladislav, he's a Russian kid. He's a bit undersized, slight frame, but he plays on the line, and he plays well on the line. For sure. Landeros brothers. Max always goes out there, and he always puts out 100%, and he always plays a fantastic game. Nothing but heart. And Mason was out there, and Mason hasn't been playing football as long as Max has, and he actually joined us maybe a season or two after Max joined us on the Barracudas. He was an MMA guy. He was doing a lot of jiu-jitsu and whatnot, so that was taking up his time. And now, he's dedicating more time to football. And I mean, he has improved by leaps and bounds. We had a kid who came in. He's a big boy, lineman, a bit shy. And I mean, now, he's getting it. The conditioning, he's really taking it to heart. He's getting stronger. He's really fit. And again, he got an invitation to join the team, and he went out there and played really, really well. And so we also had.
We can't forget.
We can't forget.
We can't forget this
China.
person. Morris.
So Morris Cole. Morris again. He's a basketball player. He came from a basketball background. Been playing with us for a year or two, and he's another kid who just really, really loves the game. And he's. I don't know what to say about this guy.
He brings a lot of enthusiasm.
Right.
You'll notice him on the field. And if you know who Morris is, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
And a real quick side note, congratulations to Morris. He's his team captain on his basketball team.
So nice.
He runs the point guard.
He's a leader.
Yeah, he runs the point guard. So he's a leader on the basketball team, on the basketball court, and on the gridiron out on the football field. So yeah, it was good to see these guys go out there and play their hearts out.
Right.
Put up some points, get a win. It was great.
A lot of our, like we mentioned, there's about approximately 15 U17 Barracudas that are part of the Falcons teams that have had already about 2 months worth of practice time. So they're coming into the season with, good conditioning.
Right.
They're strong. They've had a lot of experience.
Right.
Even before the season has started. So they're coming in ready. I think,
right.
Just ready to play.
Right. But that's not to say some of these other teams, No.
Obviously, the Falcons is represented.
Right.
Very well,
Alain had some, Trumpy, for example. We had guys from Abu Dhabi, some, Jack Buck from the Stallions. So there's a lot of players that make up the EFL Falcons. But, that being said, we had a good representation from the Barracudas, and hopefully that translates into experience and leadership on the field when we play club play. So we're looking forward to that, and that will begin on
Wednesday
at ASD. The junior varsity Barracudas will play the junior varsity Stallions in our annual Turkey Bowl. So everyone come out to ASD on Wednesday, which is November 25th at 7 p.m. All right, come out, come support our JV Barracudas. It's only going to be one game due to some scheduling conflicts that we had with field availability. But as always, we just adapt, make changes, and overcome. So we'll be out there trying to win the Turkey Bowl trophy against our JV Stallions. And then on Friday, we have the varsity. No, I'm wrong. The varsity has a bye week, the first week. So the varsity doesn't play until December.
December 4th.
Until December 4th. So on Friday, the 27th of November, the Pee-wees play at noon.
Correct.
Against the Stallions. And then the Bantam division plays at 2 p.m. against the Stallions as well. So those games will take place at Dubai Sports City. So we urge all friends, family, especially parents, to come out, support your players, support the Pee-wees. Show up early, support the Pee-wees, support the Bantam, and then stay late because our men's are playing as well.
Mm-hmm. They play at 6 o'clock.
So the men play
versus
at 6.
Abu Dhabi
Wildcats.
Right.
So it's going to be a full day of football. Beginning at noon with the Pee-wees, 2 with the Bantam, 6. Stick around and watch the men play at 6 against the Abu Dhabi Wildcats. So we've been making preparations. You've noticed we're talking about the Bantam division. That's a new division that was added just this season. As usual, the EAFL they're trying to grow the league and grow football here in the Middle East, specifically in the UAE. And they're trying to more closely mimic traditional youth football club format. For example, as they play in the States or in Canada, where you have different divisions that are limited by age. So the age brackets are a lot tighter, which means that each player isn't playing against someone who's significantly older or playing against someone who's significantly younger, like we have in the past. For those that remember, our very first year of the EAFL, we only had two divisions. We had like JV and varsity. So basically, it was like 13-year-olds and up, like 13 to 18 played one division, and 8 through 12 played another division. But that's what we had to do because we just didn't have the numbers. We just didn't have the players. So, as the numbers increase, as football gains popularity, we're getting more and more players showing up, more players registered. And that means that now we can, add extra divisions. And now last year we had Pee Wee JV varsity. Now this year we have Pee Wee Bantam, which is between Pee Wees and JV. So we have Pee Wees Bantam, JV, and varsity. And that more closely mimics, the club structure that you have back in the States or in Canada. So basically Pee Wees, it's the elementary size or age kids. Your Bantam would be for example, your middle school kids. And JV would be, freshman, sophomore type players. And then varsity would be your the oldest kids that are still in high school. So because of that, our team numbers, we've spread them out. So they're not as, we don't carry, 20 players per team anymore. Or actually, we've never carried 20 players per team. We've never been that popular, but
hey, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Slow but steady.
So so our teams are a little bit a little smaller, but me personally and as a coach, I think that's a good thing because this allows every player to get a lot of playing time. And not only does it allow these players to get playing time, it forces the players and it forces the coaches to allow these players to contribute. So if you have a player who, just is new to the game, he has to come up to speed, and we do the best that we can, and try and we get these guys ready for game day. We coach them up as best we can, and then they're in the game, so they have to go out there, they have to perform, they have to contribute to the team. And you'd be surprised, a lot of these first year players, they go out there and they accept the challenge, and they go out there and they surprise me occasionally, with it's just hard athleticism, so it's fantastic. I'm a huge supporter of the new divisions that we have within our EAFL.
So the Bantam division, as you mentioned, is one change that the EAFL has introduced for this coming season, and I think that it's great for the league. We'll have, like you said, closer field of age per division,
right.
So it makes it more competitive. With change, we've also experienced new personnel, new staff, right. And some great examples for our Barracudas are Coach Brett on the JV
and varsity.
Brett
Turek, he comes to us. He's also a coach he's also a men's coach.
Right.
So he comes to us, right? So he's helping coach JV and varsity. Rich Steed is another. He's a player. He's a men's player who's been helping us as well at JV and
varsity as well.
The head coach for both divisions. So if you notice, the JV and the varsity divisions, their coaching staff is the same core. With your head coach being Patrick Campos for both of those. Then we have our returning assistant coach, Sharif Talat. Strength and conditioning, still Sean King. At the Bantam, I'm the head coach. And then I'm the head coach and defensive coordinator. Then we have Xavier Cobb, who used to be the head coach for the Pee Wees. He's moved up, and now he's filling the role of offensive coordinator.
At the Bantam division.
The Bantam division, and he's working with quarterbacks and defensive backs as well, running backs. And then at the Pee Wee level, we've picked up Scott Bickley, who's Josh's dad. He was a Pee Wee player last year. He's a Pee Wee player this year. So Scott has taken over coaching duties, and we've also picked up Sonny Landeros, who's helping to coach the Pee Wee division. And many of you may recognize her from Sonny's Pop, Texas gourmet popcorn for all your popcorn needs.
It's not sponsored, by the way.
Yes, it's not sponsored, but she has donated popcorn in the past for our fundraiser. So big shout out to Sonny's Pop.
Many thanks, Sonny.
So yeah, we have changes in coaching staff. We've added some guys. We've lost a couple guys that have gone on to other things or just
Coach Jamie Waldo is still helping
as
actually
much as
throughout the entire levels, right? Just I've seen him at all the practices so far,
right?
Giving great insight to these young players.
Right. So he hasn't helped out as much as he has in the past due to his other commitments, but he does help out when he can. So yeah,
and Coach Ibrahim as well.
Ibrahim's back.
He's helping out with the Pee Wees. I think Pee Wees on both sides, offense and defense.
Right.
So I've seen him very involved these past couple of weeks. So welcome back to him.
So big changes to our coaching staff, big changes to the divisions that was brought on by the league. But I think we have a lot of great players. We drafted some great players at all levels. We got a lot of fantastic incoming players, first year players that have that potential. And I've worked with most of these guys, actually all of these guys, the entire coaching staff. I've worked with them. Last year, the year before that, some of these guys that are new, I've known them from either the men's division, either as coaches or as players. So I know what they bring. We have. As Barracudas, we have a great history. We've been in like a gazillion Desert Bowls. We've won a couple of them as well. So, we have a history of success, which, we intend to continue. That being said, we need parent support. We need fan support. So we urge all of you guys to come out to all the games. Starting this week, first game is on Wednesday with our JV playing the Stallions in the Turkey Bowl at ASD at 7 p.m. And then those games continue on Friday, November 27th, with the Pee Wees playing at noon, Bantam playing at 2 p.m., and then followed by the men's Barracudas playing the Abu Dhabi Wildcats at 6 p.m.
So please wear your Barracuda blue.
Yeah, for sure.
If you do not have your Barracuda merchandise, it will be available.
As always, available for purchase. Go out there, support our club. Wear your shirts, wear your blue, buy a cap, give them as gifts, whatever you can, to support our club, and most importantly, go out there and cheer on our teams. Not just your own team, but stick around for the other divisions. All right. So we hope to see all you guys out there on Wednesday and on Friday.
Yeah, and thanks for
listening. And one more thing. For those parents that are listening, we're always looking for parent volunteers at all levels. Get with your team parent or team representative, which at this point for JV, we have Malin Benasur, Elias's mom. She's a team parent for the JV. For Bantam, we have the lovely Miss Gracie. She's a team parent for the Bantam division. I'm not sure who we have for the Pee Wees. Have we identified one yet?
For the Pee Wees, we have Debbie. And for varsity, we have Elif. I'm not sure if I hope I'm pronouncing
Apologies if we're mispronouncing your name.
So we all team parents have volunteered already for the 4 divisions for the Barracudas. Perfect. So if you do not know your team parent, I'm sure you will see them plenty of times throughout the practice and games. So let's get to know each other, and the more support we have, the more fun the season is. Right.
So as you know, it's from the staff point of view, it's all volunteers. Coaches are all volunteers. They take time out of their day because they love the game. They love coaching your sons. But everything is volunteer, from, you know, chains to down marker to bringing snacks to helping with water. I mean, just the whole thing is on a volunteer basis. So, you know, we urge all parents to if you can give a little bit of your time or even resources, that'd be great, because we can never have enough. We can never have enough volunteers, you know, come game day. And it gets you really close to the action, because you'll be on the sideline, you know, versus having to sit in the grandstand. But
and before we finish, I'd like to say a great big thank you to our club president, Amir Sarabi, who works tirelessly for our program. Because of his hard efforts and hard work, we were able to fundraise quite a bit last year. And with that fundraising funds, our team purchased Letterman jackets that I'm sure you'll be seeing once the weather is cooler. You'll be seeing a lot of our players sporting those very cool Letterman jackets.
White and blue.
And these boys went out there and fundraised. They sold, if you remember, they sold the Cuda
Cuda
sauce,
barbecue sauce, and Cuda hot sauce.
And their efforts were.
I think the total fundraise it was something like 20 or 30,000 dirham that they fundraised. It was a significant amount of dirhams.
It was a lot of hard work by all of our boys, but especially Coach Amir Sarabi and his lovely wife Sarah. Thank you for doing that for our team.
Thanks, Sarah, for letting Amir stink up that kitchen with pickled jalapenos. So it was a fantastic fundraiser. You know, he went out of his way and gave his time and energy, and he actually cooked. Just literally gallons and gallons and gallons. He sourced the bottles, etc. Yeah, so it was an excellent fundraiser, and we're always looking for fundraising ideas. The fees that we pay into the league, those fees will cover the fields, which are ridiculously expensive here in the UAE. So we have to pay for practice fields, we have to pay for game fields, and that takes up, it's really expensive, right? It adds up. And then on top of that, on game day, we have to pay for all the officials. And the officials, they're not volunteers. They have an officials organization, and we have to pay them. And there's 2 officials per game. And if you can imagine, you guys that have been out there, there's just game after game after game, sometimes 2 at a time. So that's a lot of funds going out. So in order to support your club, in this case the Barracudas, we're always looking for fundraisers. And these fundraisers, if we do them as a Barracudas club, all those funds come back into the club. And it could be, we could buy away jerseys. Right now, we only have one set of jerseys, the blue ones. So we could buy the boys extra jerseys. We could subsidize some of the boys who are on the Falcons. There's a lot we can do with these funds. If we do it at the club level. So if anyone has any ideas, be sure to send us an email, or send your club president or your club representative or your head coach, actually anyone within the organization, send them an email. And if you have any fan questions that you want to ask the CudaCast, be sure to email us at barracudasdxb@gmail.com. Until next time, go Cudas! Music by Audionautics.com.